Okay, hi, my name is Melanie Jacob from Philip Jacob and Associates. I'm happy to do this case study as we share the Jacob journey and notes. I'm a part of a husband and wife team located out of Southeast Michigan, and we're real estate note investors. And today we'd like to talk about our journey, specifically using the analogy of making a trip or taking a trip. So before you do anything, you really need to map out your plan and know your destination. And one of the things that we did, especially in the beginning, was we were trying to identify what states we were interested in investing in. So we are focusing in on Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio, as well as parts of Illinois, as well as maybe Florida and Tennessee. So these are a few of the things that we're doing. Okay, this quote, I don't know Janice, but it says, "Life is a journey of curves, hills, and flatlands. Appreciate all the roads, for they are your life. Trust the curves, enjoy the hills, and glide through the flatlands, as it's an amazing ride." So today's case study is about a house in Prairieton, Indiana, which is about 8 minutes from Terre Haute, Indiana. And it was quite a journey, and curves, hills, and flatlands as we went through this note. So, with curves, you really can't see around the corner. You're traveling along and you have no idea what's around the bend. And this pretty much describes this note. When you get tapes and you're doing your initial due diligence, this specific property, the address was listed wrong. It had an extra letter. Instead of saying street, it said something else. So there was an extra letter, so it wasn't popping up as on our listing. And so what I had to do is a little additional sleuthing to figure out where was this property and was it the exact property on the tape. The second thing that happened that was somewhat of a curveball for us was that we put a bid in August, and we closed on the note last week. That's November. So the timing was specifically a challenge. They came back in September and said, okay, here's our counter offer, which was like $18,000 higher than our bid. And we were like reaching out to our mentor and asking, is this us or is this the seller? And they're like, it's the seller. So we ended up holding our own, waiting, and sticking to our business case. And the good news is that we were able to have the seller come back to us, and then they were able, we did counter back with a $5,000 increase, and we were able to get the bid accepted around November 1st. So during that process, of course, there is the hills. So the hills, there's ups and there's downs. So there's specific ups and downs when you're doing your due diligence, and we had an unexpected hill. The title actually of the property had a different name than the name on the note. So after we had a title review, we were able to request an updated title review because we were still getting some gaps in the assignment of mortgage. So luckily we have excellent lawyers looking at and advising us and guiding us through this process. So what we did is we finally got through sort of this barrier, I guess the ups and downs of due diligence. And during that process, we were able to identify that so the borrower on the tape is different than the borrower on the title. And there was a number of quit claim deeds that happened in a period of time. And so the names didn't match. So after some information from our lawyer, we realized that, the property follows the note. And so we were ready to sort of like give up on this. And then we got more information from the seller that the property was already in foreclosure, so that was new information. So that was another up and down. So once we got through and we processed through the different exit strategy, we realized that, okay, this person hadn't paid for a long time. And so this person who was on the tape wasn't even actually living in the house, because they had quit claimed it 2 times. And the actual person who was on the title wasn't likely living in the house either. So, you know, you can say, hey, Mel, Phil, I thought your whole business is to keep people in their homes. And, you know, we had the BPO done, or a broker price opinion done, and the property is super well maintained. It's there was no real distressed look to the property. And so we were like, well, somebody's living in there who cares about this house. So the first, you know, so it gives us a ton of exit strategies. So the first one is, you know, finish the foreclosure, you know, which, because the seller had already started the foreclosure, I think it's like 3 or 4 months away from completing, which for the Indiana, there's no redemption period. The foreclosure is the redemption period. The second thing is that if we do the foreclosure, we could basically have a 30-day quick sale. And then the other exit is possibly find out who's in the house, and then do a seller finance for the note. So there's a lot of exit strategies. So this seems like more like the flat land for us to get through this next phase. So here's a little bit about the property. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 2-car detached garage, about 1344 square feet. It's in just right outside Terre Haute, Indiana. We have the unpaid principal balance of $84,817. The P&I was $674 and some change. And the BPO, which was recent BPO with recent pictures, was about $88,000. So, so you see the numbers here, and the rental rates are good. The interest rate was 8.25. And so right now, the investment that we made on this property is $37,000. So let's just say we have about $5,000 more with finishing the foreclosure process, servicing fees, legal fees, loss mitigation. So even if we put $5,000 more into this deal, the return on investment is very high. So we are excited to share about you in the future about what the actual exit strategy will be. But our ultimate goal is to have a win-win situation for the borrower, the community, the investor, and ourselves. So lastly, I just want to thank the team. Basically, together we accomplish more. Without Franco and Joel Markowitz on the legal side and the loss mitigation side, and then of course the WCN crew, which is sort of our little circle up, and here's our team to help us out when we're in a jam. Dickie Baldwin does really good services for BPOs and a whole host of things with his company, BAG, and then of course Madison Management and our investor, we owe a special thanks. Please keep in touch with us. Reach out to us if you have any questions about note investing. You can reach us through email at noteworthydeal@gmail.com. You could actually reach our line 2, that's not my cell phone, it's line 2. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We want to keep connected to you, and especially would like to partner with you in our note journey. Thanks again. And this is Melanie Jacob with Philip Jacob and Associates.